What's up, good people? I hope you're having a blessed day. I'm Landon, and I'm joined by Zach, and we're also joined by our first guest, Joey, and we also have Shadow, our mascot, who will be revealed after 100,000 subscribers. And we're going to take no more time. Zach, what are we talking about?
All right, so today we're going to talk about the NBA Finals and just kind of the NBA in general. So each of us are pretty big NBA fans, so I'm a Thunder fan, and then y'all go ahead and share y'all's teams.
I'm a Bucks fan, and
I'm a Golden State Warriors fan.
Cool. What's y'all's other favorite teams in sports?
So with football, I'll say the Arizona Cardinals, NFL.
And who else you got?
And then there's, St. Louis Cardinals baseball, which...
Oh, we're all Cardinal fans?
Yeah.
Who's your NFL team?
The Raiders.
Raiders. California guy. I am a Detroit Lions fan, if you couldn't tell. But, we're going to dive right in, and I think we're just going to go ahead and get the floor to Joey. Because he's a good sports guy. He knows everything. And so currently, the Pacers are up Game 1 in the NBA Finals. It's Thunder versus Pacers. It's a series. Zach is stressing about it
every day.
And Joey, tell us about the series. How you're feeling so far? Your predictions, all of it.
Oh man, what a series that we have here for the finals. Just two young teams, for the first time getting the NBA Finals experience, and we saw the fast pace, of both teams in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I mean, I know Thunder fans, it sucks. I know it sucks. I'm sorry, but man, that's what the finals is. Just 48 minutes of play. Pacers complete the comeback once again.
0.3 seconds.
Just like they've been doing all playoffs long. And man, just what a finish.
That's good. I agree with that. Listen, I'm not the biggest sports guy, so I'm gonna be giving it to these two guys the entire episode. All right, I know players and all that, but I don't know the deep stuff. So Zach, as a Thunder fan, how you feeling?
So I've been talking to people before this game even happened. I mean, we were talking like thoughts, expectations, everything. I originally said Thunder in 5. I don't think there was ever a case where we would sweep them. Now I'm thinking more Game 7. I think regardless of who wins this next game, we have to. We're expected to lose at least one away game because you go into an opponent crowd, your stress is there, the pressure's there, and it's just not familiar. But I definitely think the Pacers are definitely underestimated going into this. I think everyone just expected Thunder to steamroll them. And as someone who's been a fan for a long time, since like 2011, 2012, I know that's not the case. We're a great team. I think we have the high potential to win the finals this year, but Pacers are going to compete. And we're both second half teams, and that is like statistically proven that we both perform our best in the second half. So if we lose the next game, I'm going to say Pacers in 5. If we win the next game, then I think still Thunder in 7.
Thunder in 7. All right. I want this to go to Game 7. I just like drama in sports. The Bucks lost to the Pacers, so I want them to lose. But I also don't care because that's my opinion. Just for Clarence, these are IBC root beers. These are not, we don't believe in alcohol. So.
Oh, what?
Oh,
yeah. Not sponsored, but we'd like
not
to be.
Not sponsored, yeah. But IBC, if you want to sponsor us.
We're open.
We are open to that. So after Game 1, obviously Halliburton hits that crazy game shot. Who's like the person that's not like the star player, but like the underdog on these teams who we should be looking out for? Who's like the X factor, if you will, in these games? Cool. Jay.
I mean, for me, obviously, like the second best player. I mean, he won Finals MVP or Eastern Conference MVP, Siakam. That'd be mine. But like after watching Game 1, like to me, it's Nembhard in a way. The way he plays he's a two-way guy. He hit that big 3 on SGA at the end. He guards 94 feet, full court press on SGA, and I feel like he's kind of the difference maker, and he's shown that throughout these playoffs for the Indiana Pacers.
Zach,
yeah,
do you agree with that?
I think that's definitely I feel like he slept on a lot. Him and Siakam both are like really good. No offense to Halliburton, but he's really good. So like I think that's kind of expected him clearly because he just hits these crazy voodoo magic shots at the end. But
voodoo magic.
but like as like with the Thunder, I would along those terms I'd say Caruso and right now J-Dub. So J-Dub is, so for context, Jalen Williams, just 2 Jalen Williams on our team. J-Dub is the starter, shooting guard. He has been really good all season. He's very consistent. He's our second best player in my opinion. However, he had a horrible game. I mean, he just wasn't making shots, which this is a kind of common occurrence in the playoffs because the Nuggets, he had the same kind of issue. But knowing J-Dub, he's going to bounce back. And I think if he can put up numbers like he was doing in the Timberwolves series, then we should be leading by like 20 or 30 at least this next game. If he doesn't step up, then I think that's another thing is like we're pumping the brakes. I don't think we're going to secure the deal because you can't play bad basketball when it comes down to this. Like you've worked your butt off to get to this point. And Caruso's a great defender. I mean, he locked up Jokic, which is like the funniest thing ever because I don't even know what I was watching half the game, but I loved it. So that's definitely who I'm thinking on in terms of Thunder and Pacers. Again, like I agree, Nembhard and Siakam are definitely the dark horses in these.
Facts. So Zach, you already said your predictions either Game 5 or Game 7, or Pacers in 5 or Thunder in 7. Joey, do you have a prediction on how the finals the finals outcome might look like?
Originally I had the Thunder in 6, and I know they just dropped that first game, but I think they get Game 2. I think they get Game 4, 2-2, and then that Game 5, I think they get it. And then maybe it goes 6 or 7. I think they close it out in one of those games.
Sounds like drama, which is what I like in the NBA. I miss football.
Amen.
So finals is happening. We are excited about it, and that is the season that we're in right now. But let's pivot our focus to the NBA draft and free agency. So we know that Kevin Durant is there's the Suns are trying to get rid of him, I believe, right, Joey?
Yeah, they're trying to blow it up because they're very dysfunctional.
The Suns are dysfunctional. The Suns are trying to get rid of everybody, trying to blow it up, which is great. Or not. I mean, I don't know. We beat them in the finals in 21, so I'm fine with that.
Good shout.
But yeah, what do y'all, Zach, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Joey. What's your thoughts on the Kevin Durant situation? Where are some teams you think he might end up? And do you think that it might affect the NBA draft?
I think based on how things are right now, I think Kevin Durant will be traded during the draft, and the Suns are going to try and get some draft picks. And because right now they're just trying to get, I feel like they're asking too much, like just money wise. Like no offense to Kevin Durant, and which is ironic coming from like a Thunder fan because there's that whole like drama and stuff, which I let that go a long time ago. I think it's always going to be a joke, but I mean, I don't hold grudges against him anymore. He did what he did. But that being said, he's still a phenomenal player, no doubt. Like I'm not taking that from him, but the ankle injuries, just the wear and tear he's gone through, he's definitely not the same player he was like 5 or 6 years ago. So I think his value in the market wise has dropped a little bit. And also it's like what team actually needs Kevin Durant? Which I want to pivot to because like Jimmy Butler, I mean, the Warriors got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that was nice.
And that was
nice.
The best decision y'all have made as of late, I feel like, because he's a great addition. And I would like something like that to happen.
Facts. So, Joey, what are your predictions on where Kevin Durant might end up?
Yeah, going into this offseason, we've heard the chatters of, it being one of the, wildest off seasons, ever. And we start off with Kevin Durant drama, going into the NBA draft. And I've heard a lot of teams like the Rockets, or the T-Wolves. I've heard the Knicks are, maybe thinking about making the move. But man, a lot of these teams could use a Kevin Durant when it comes to, that closer. Like I look at the Rockets, the way they they lack a closer, that's that star player that you can give them the ball and let them finish you, help like KD help you finish a game, like a star caliber player like that.
I agree.
It would be interesting if Kevin Durant went to the T-Wolves, just because like Anthony Edwards lore, like grew up watching him play, was a big Kevin Durant fan, and
seeing them in the Olympics together.
I could just see it. I think T-Wolves would be smart for it too, because they're kind of, I think of all the teams you mentioned, I think they're the most in need, because I mean they were this close, like it just wasn't there, but I think 2 or 3 years from now they could be a finals competitor. So
Sure.
So going from Kevin Durant, we have our predictions. As long as he stays out of the East, I am fine with where he goes. Let's talk about the NBA draft. Obviously, Joey, who has the number 1 pick?
The Dallas Mavericks. Funny enough.
Stinking Mavericks, man.
Are y'all all about the theories with that and the rigging and what y'all's how y'all feel about the Dallas Mavericks trading Luka?
Man, I'm actually so glad you brought that up. So that's like a shared event between the three of us, because we were all like playing PlayStation one night, and just out of nowhere, Joey's like, "Wait a minute, why is Luka being traded to the Lakers?" And then we all just kind of lost it, and like, is this real? Is this real? And the aftermath. I mean, that's probably, in my opinion, the most like wildest trade we've had in the past like 2 or 3 years by far. But yeah, it is very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Yeah, I think the lottery, like I've always had like opinions about the lottery being, like kind of rigged, just like, but then you see like the Mavericks, like I was kind of watching it, transpire, like they had the top 4, and they just kept like, the way they were like unveiling like the teams. I was like, man, Mavericks get this number 1 pick is gonna be kind of funny, and then they do.
Here we are.
We're like, man, that's funny. That's drama right there.
And just the odds for them to get the number 1 pick was like so astronomically low. It's just comical. It's like, how in the world does this happen?
It was like 2%. Like it was very low, very low.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I mean, I agree. But I mean, the draft is exciting. What's his name? Cooper Flag. Well, he's getting drafted to the Mavericks. That's just
welcome to the Mavericks. Sorry.
Unless they want to trade for Kevin Durant, that is how it's gonna go probably.
Dude, if Mavs traded and got Durant and Davis, that would be the funniest thing ever. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be really crazy. But we already talked about Kevin Durant, free agency, and there is a number of other players. There's a lot of movements that could happen in this offseason, Giannis being one of them. As a Bucks fan, that is a hard thing to hear, but I have hope and I have delusions that we're not trading him.
My favorite thing is you sent it was a post by Antetokounmpo, I think, or the Bucks, and it's something like saying like thank you to whatever, and then you're like, guys, he's gonna stay forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but that's a whole Giannis hasn't really said anything about that. But what other players do you think are going to be moving around in this offseason?
I think of to me it's the Mavs, like everybody in the Mavs, with the Cooper Flag, they got Kyrie. AD, Kyrie's like out with the Achilles or ACL, but man, like who knows what they're gonna do? I feel like I can see them making some moves. Maybe trading away Gafford or whoever. I can see Bradley Beal from the Suns getting traded. Yeah. I've heard some talk about Karl Anthony Towns.
That would be interesting.
I mean, we got a report saying Zion's gonna stay. Like, there's a lot of. I think there's gonna be a lot of movement. In the summer, in this off season, when it comes to like free agency and trades and all that.
Yeah.
1,000%. So, do y'all have any more thoughts about any of that or any of free agency, draft, finals?
There's not a whole lot going on with free agency at the moment, but I definitely think, like kind of pivoting on like what Joey said, I think there's a lot of potential out there. There's no names that come to mind specifically like on my end, but I think we'll get hit with another big like what the heck, like what's going on moment come June or end of June, like start of July.
Good stuff. I do want to bring up something about the NBA finals since we were talking about the NBA and stuff. I've been seeing this all over my social medias and everything. So for the NBA Cup in-season tournament throughout November, they specialize and make the courts look all pretty and stuff for an in-season tournament, right? For the finals, absolutely nothing. It doesn't even look like a finals game. It looks like a regular season game. What are some of y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's funny you brought that up. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but that is something I've been like seeing on my For You page as well. Because like usually they'll put whether it's the finals trophy or they'll put just the finals on the court, but it's just nothing. I mean, the only thing we got really is just like the patch on the back, which is still cool. But I agree. It's kind of weird. Like I don't know. Like did they not do that last year too, or is this just like a this year thing?
Man, they haven't. Do you know?
I don't remember.
So I know the last time they did the big logo was like Kobe Lakers versus Celtics, right?
Yeah.
And then the last time they did like on the court was probably like a Warriors Cavs.
I remember Warriors Cavs. One of those they had like
Yeah.
the big
they
trophy on it.
well, no, they just had the
just the
word.
finals.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I think in my opinion, for the marketing wise, like you have someone turn on the NBA game and it just looks like another NBA game. So why would I watch that, right?
Yeah.
So Joey, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. After kind of watching it, I'm like, man, it's just kind of like feels like a Tuesday night in January. I mean, it's kind of. I think ESPN is kind of lazy about it. Like the announcers are boring. There's no like I'm like watching the game and I'm like how does it like what tells me this is the NBA Finals, and all I can get is the scoreboard, and stuff like that. It just felt like kind of like another like playoff game, I guess. I thought at least they would put the NBA Finals like on the side of the court, at the least.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, even with like the animation sponsored logos with they rather put Fantastic Four, which we love Fantastic Four.
Oh, that was sick.
But they rather put Fantastic Four and YouTube TV on the court instead of YouTube instead of the finals, and that's kind of bizarre.
Which is so funny because I forgot which game it was. I think it was one of the Nuggets games. I was watching on TV, and I thought I was tripping because it was at Denver, and I was like, why do they just have like a random like sponsorship thing on the court? And then I was like talking to my dad. I'm like, you see this, right? Like I'm not tripping. And he goes, oh, it's probably just part of the stadium. And then not even like 5 minutes later, it's a different sponsor. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not there. I'm just actually tweaking. So
yeah.
I remember the one game we were watching, the Thunder. I think it was like game 1. And there was like a Doritos logo.
There is a Doritos for the Thunder. I thought that's cool.
I was like, wow.
It's so fun. It's so goofy. It's just like, why is that there? Like,
yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. Just because, I mean, like I said, I miss football, so I feel like the NFL Super Bowl and the NCAA national championships, they're always really good at marketing and making it like an event within itself. But the finals NBA, I guess, have not figured that out for their finals, but they try to figure it out for their cup. Which one's more important?
and like just for like like relevance. I mean, Thunder and the Bucks played each other for the in-season tournament this year, and Bucks came out on top. And that felt more hyped up than this is. So it's just kind of weird. It's like, okay, like how are you going to do that for the NBA Cup? Which, in my opinion, is like it's fun, but it has no like. There's no benefit to winning, other than like we won a cup.
Yeah, I mean, like the players get money and stuff, and like I think a charity gets money, and that's cool and that's great and stuff. But I mean, the trophy that's been won since the 60s, 50s, that's the big prize. Why would I care about a cup? Like as a Bucks fan, after watching us win the cup, I was like, great.
It's like Doc Hudson and Cars. It's just another cup.
Yeah. I mean. Well, and do y'all have any more thoughts about the finals? Anything else y'all want to share about the NBA, the off season?
I mean, there's nothing like in current era stuff that. Oh no, there is one thing. We've kind of joked about this. I know Joey feels this way about it, but Doris Burke. What are her thoughts on her her commentating?
Yeah, it's a little. It's bad. It's just bad. I mean, I hear people like going at Richard Jefferson, but he's less bad.
Yeah.
But like, man, like we need to like get people who like don't like have like you can tell Doris is biased,
Oh, 100%.
Richard Jefferson kind of like makes it a little Like he's down the middle. He's a basketball fan. I kind of wish like this year it would have been. I know I wish it was like TNT's kind of. You know, because Reggie Miller and Stan Van Gundy, like they talk about the game. You know, they actually
gets you into
know the
it.
game.
Yeah,
I would hope like that's why I love like when JJ was part of the crew. But obviously you got the Lakers coach. You know, but I wish like they would get like Tim Legler. You know, get some guys that like. No, like that's why I love Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson
because they know the
brought
ball. Yeah.
they brought some energy and life to the broadcast, and they just worked out. I love Mike Breen. Mike Breen's the GOAT.
Agreed. Yeah, so that like all the people you just named, it's like that when I think of those names commentating, it's like, yeah, I'm into this. And then you hear Doris Burke, and I don't know if you saw that one clip, but like she's like, oh, the Frenchman and the German or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, what did I just listen to? And I listened to that live. I'm like, I had to like do a double take in real life. I'm like, did this actually just happen on my television? Like,
Yeah.
It's and no disrespect to Doris Burke. Like, I'm not trying to hate on her specifically as a person, but as a commentator, it's just like there's so many better like potential options here.
I don't mind her as like a commentary, but just like for the finals.
For the finals, especially,
like being the prime time, like I don't know about that. No,
get some legends in there,
Respectfully.
Like no, exactly. But and that's pretty much everyone I know. Like I've talked to, I don't know anyone that's like, no, she should definitely be commentating these finals. So.
Cool. Y'all good?
So I think I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Bucks and 6? No.
One day, buddy. One day.
Cool. So I think we're gonna go ahead and close out the episode right there. Special thanks to Joey for joining us, being our first guest.
Yes, sir.
Before we close out, we just want to say a big thank you on TikTok to 1,000 likes on TikTok. We're going to be celebrating like every minor milestone that we hit on High Ground Podcast. So we just want to say thank you, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, y'all guys rock for real.
And at the end of each episode, y'all, we love Jesus. We love the Bible. We love the Word, and we love sharing the Word of God. And Zach's going to share the Word of God.
Sir. All right. So I'm going to be reading out of 1 Corinthians today. It'll be 9:24 through 27. It says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. So just remember, everything in this world is temporary, but the real prize at the end of the line that we're going for is Jesus. And he already paid it all, so you can enjoy that prize.